Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we got a beautiful looking Charlotte Motor Speedway here for the site of the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA Series race tonight, and it's shaping up to be a good one. We got about 30 cars out there ready to take the green flag for race number 6 here on the season. Race number 5 at Richmond did not disappoint. It was a good long green flag run for most of the race, but at the end, a couple late race cautions mixed things up, and it got very interesting as it's seen a couple of drivers, Andrew Palesci, Dalton Kilroe, second and third in points heading into tonight, but they were battling for the lead coming into the final couple laps, and 2 laps to go, got together and handed the win to Robert Kahn, his second win on the season, vaults him up to 7th in the point standings, so a nice little bump in the point standings there. But Robert Warnes has been the one that has been consistent enough, came home with a second place last week, and that jumps him from second to first in the point standings by a huge 1-point margin over Andrew Palesci. Again, Dalton Kilroe in third, only another 9 points back. Another 6 points back is Maxwell Caldwell, and then Mike Casey rounds out the top 5. But we're ready for 110 laps of racing here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll see if anybody else can grab the wins here on the season. I mean, right now through 5 weeks, we got Robert Warnes, Andrew Palesci, and DJ Mitzel all grabbing 1 win so far. Robert Kahn getting his second win last week, so we'll see if we get a new name up there, maybe another repeat winner. Either way, this is a track that everybody has cut their teeth on one way or another. It's one of the kind of the quote-unquote starter tracks. It's a free track here in iRacing, so usually you kind of start out here in the rookie series with the street stocks, and these drivers right now running in the ARCA series for VVR. Carl Handwork joined in the booth by the birthday boy, Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, we're back here for VVR, and I'm ready for another good one here tonight.
Yeah, another day of being older, and just another great night watching some great racing. So obviously our friends here at VVR tackling on Charlotte for 110 laps, and another transition race, Carl, from sun up to sundown. So it should be interesting here. Nice, cool track. This track's nice and fast. Tire wear, it can be a concern, and that pit lane entry always can be tricky as normal. So definitely hope they have practiced that tonight. Looking forward to see how many drivers get some laps in. Who's going to start in the back with our legendary come from behind driver Pratt. So is he even out there tonight? I gotta see him in the field.
He is. I did see this. Yeah, make sure. I did see the 77 out there earlier. So
gotta make sure the 77's out there.
Don't look at the top of the boards in qualifying if that's where you're looking.
No.
Right, there's a little hint.
I mean, it's no matter what. I always got to talk about Michael Pratt. Coming from the back. It's just and he's done it where and won these before. So it's a challenge. To work your way through the field through any mistakes anybody's got or had, and find your way in a situation here. And obviously it can come down to like strategy too. So tire strategy can be a big part here tonight at Charlotte. So right now it is going to be, looks like Robert Kahn on the provisional pole at the moment with Gordon Larson there with the provisional P number 2. Still 2.5 minutes remaining here for these drivers to get out there and qualify. And I see most people looks like, here we go. We've got the number 4, DJ Mitzel, in the kind of throwback there with the Kodak number 4 machine, and turning in a about half a second behind the leaders. So I think you're going to see some people that really like this track, and some that maybe don't have that qualifying awareness, I guess, here. But you have to have some good race pace because, like I said, it is fast. It does wear and beat down your tires. That front stretch for that couple, those corners can be a little tricky, especially the exit of 4 coming down the quad over there out front. So definitely be watching everybody the best we can. I want to welcome everybody that's out there watching, and appreciate you showing up. So if you haven't already, please hit the that thumbs up button. It helps out the algorithm here for the drivers here at CRN. If somebody's just kind of browsing through Facebook and looking for some racing, they might just stumble upon us here at CRN, and it might even join VVR.
Yeah, you mentioned the tire wear here tonight, and it kind of goes hand in hand with something that we talked about last week when it came to Michigan. Actually, I'm sorry, on Tuesday when we had the Core Xfinity series, and we talked about Michigan and You mentioned how Michigan, has those seams, and you can kind of utilize some of those seams to actually get you a little bit of grip. Well, it's kind of the same case here at Charlotte with the apron. The paint down there on the apron has got almost kind of like a little contact patch. It's kind of had it for quite a long time, where you get down there and you get those tires on that little white strip down there at the bottom, and it can actually help you get a little bit more grip. But you're flirting with danger by doing that. You can get some better grip. You can turn in some really good lap times, and maybe it's worth it. Kind of taking that chance in qualifying. But you get down just a little bit too far. You hook that tire down on the actual apron, and it just, as we said before, it's basically going from banking to flat. And when your tire's in that transition, there's less contact patch on the road. And what does that mean? You're going around. You're going around very quickly, and you're probably going to collect somebody because it's going to spin you up the track. Hopefully, there's nobody around you. Hopefully, you don't get into the wall, but you're taking that chance by getting down there. So, I mean, if you're willing to kind of reach for it there, risk it for the biscuit, you can certainly get down there. But I'm sure we'll see some drivers kind of searching all around here, because this is a multi-groove type of racetrack here. So we'll see how it all plays out. Again, 110 laps, a long race here for them to figure out where they want to go, when they want to go, and when they want to start making their moves up there. But we are done with qualifying here tonight. Jimmy, why don't you give us that rundown of the starting order?
Yeah, rundown of the starting order here tonight at Charlotte is going to be Robert Kahn taking the pole with Gordon Larson in P number 2, Robert Warnes in 3rd with Andrew Pileshi in 4th, Ty Marasco starting in 5th with John Garrett and 6th, Corey Coase in 7th, and Hayden Wheeler there in 8th. Dalton Kilroe and Tyler Hilton will make up row number 5. Row number 6, Maxwell Caldwell and Mike Hasty. Len McNeese and Daniel Holloway will take up row number 7, while Mike Rideout and Hemi Giardini will fill row number 8. Row number 9, Todd Merkel and Rick Thompson. And then the rest, let's see if we get another chunk of drivers here. Michael Taylor and Chris Schuessler will make up row number 10, and then Hilton Young and DJ Mitchell in row 11. Cade Green and Eric Blount in row number 12. Brandon Meir and Dennis Warnes in row number 13. And Michael Pratt and Brian Rainville out there in row number 14. I seen Brian in the chat earlier. And our last car of the field here is going to be Graham Conley there in P number 29. So 29 drivers about to take the field as they will witness this sunset here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. We talked about this just recently in regards to the graphics on iRacing. They've recently, within the last few months, kind of updated all their graphics and made it a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. Some things a lot smoother, some things popping a lot more. One of the things is the sun itself, and it's certainly a lot brighter. And if you use some settings, for instance HDR, it really makes that shine, and really makes it lifelike. If you've driven any time in the morning when there's a little bit of dew on the ground and that sun's coming up and it absolutely sucks for driving, well, that's what some of these drivers could be experiencing here if they have that the HDR on there and going around this track and taking a look at the sunset here at Charlotte. But kind of like my co-broadcaster here mentioned to me, he's like, yeah, you can deal with it in real life, and if you want it realistic, sure, have it on, but it's kind of a cheat code. Just turn it off and enjoy the actual race instead of having to drive a simulator here with sunglasses on and trying to figure out your way around here. But it's certainly, it can get bright here at Charlotte, and you can even see just kind of how the sun is setting here right now at Charlotte. But it's going to be a good one, and this place is just, it's fun, it's fast during the day, but at night it really shines. It's a beautiful facility here, and we're going to see it for race number 6 here for the Virtual Velocity Racing. Want to send a thank you out there to the sponsors, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for their help with the series. Want to thank all the fans tuning in there already for tonight's race. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. But we are ready for some racing. Pace car is in, green flag in the hands of Barney. And we are racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bit of a jumble up there on the outside line. Everybody's going to keep it going here. Just a little bit of a checkup. Other than that, a pretty good start from the field here heading into turn number 1.
Yeah, too wide here, and a lot of too wide driving can be done. And, obviously, just how comfortable you feel. And you'll see some people maybe prefer the little higher line. Some prefer the lower line. But you know, you just got to be careful, especially coming out of 4, how high you are, so you don't get into that wall. And that guy on the inside could really hinder that rotation down. But it looks like Gordon Larson's going to go ahead and take the lead here for P number 1 for the first lap. And then that's going to leave the 21 and the 81 battling. So Andrew Pilecki looking to go around the outside of Robert Kahn. Robert Kahn sporting the red Skull car here tonight. It looks really good. We'll go back there just a little bit farther. We see Dalton Kilroe down to the inside of the number 9 of Corey Coe, trying to follow Ty Marasco around there in a Dairy Queen machine. So, you know, be watching out for that 41 as he's been a strong car in a few races now, just has not found his way to the front for the final lap.
Yeah, he's led a bunch of laps here. He's right there, led the points going into last week, and just fell to second place after the finish, after the rough little finish there at the end with Andrew Pilecki, but still only 1 point back heading into tonight's race. And he's definitely the best of the rest that has not gotten a win here on the season, but we know he's certainly capable of it. Easy for me to say. We've seen him go to the championship last season, so I'm sure it's just kind of a matter of time until we see the 41 in victory lane. But a lot of the same faces we seen last week, and this track is it's round like last week. Other than that, you can't really say it's anything like it. I mean, last week was Richmond, under a mile, certainly a short track, a little trioval there, a lot less banking. I believe it was only 12 degrees of banking there at Richmond. Here, a lot higher banking, a lot higher speed. You got a quad oval here at Charlotte, 1.5 miles, and this is what some kind of consider the one of the cookie cutter type of tracks for the quad oval. It's a sister track with Texas and with Atlanta, those also being 1.5 mile quad ovals as well. And typically you see drivers, if they're good on one, they're good on all three, but each of them kind of has their own characteristics. And Charlotte certainly has plenty of them out here, and especially running out here with these ARCA cars. But we still got, again, some of the same we seen last week. Got Robert Kahn up there in second, Andrew Pilecki in fifth, Robert Warrens in sixth, and Dalton Kilroe in eighth, all inside the top 10. But it's all running behind Gordon Larson right now. He's got a sizable lead early on here, 2.2 second lead. I mean, right now you're looking at the battle for second on back. You don't even see the leader on the screen here, Gordon Larson. He is checking out.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Obviously he knows that he has a fast race car here tonight at Charlotte, but if you punish your tires early, Carl, you're going to be regretting it later on. I don't know what else, how easy way to say it. I mean, you can put some scorchers down for about 10 to 12 laps, and then, your tires will fall off. And if the other drivers are savoring their tires just a little bit more, they could find themselves right back up on that bumper of Gordon Larson. So we'll see if Gordon Larson is just that fast here tonight, or is he just burning off his tires just a little bit quicker than others. It's Corey Coe blinking out on me there just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and move over there to Tyler Hilton as he moves into Pete number 2. Yeah, Corey blinking out just a little bit, but a lot of single file action. All the way back to, I think, right down there to Robert Warrens, and then the good old mess, 2x2x2, but a caution comes off as I see somebody's crashing in the wall. That's Maxwell Caldwell, but it looks like it came off Todd Merkel.
Yeah, I think Todd Merkel might have been involved in that one as well. We'll take a look back and see what brought out this first caution here to the 2 right there of Todd Merkel. But I think there's a little bunch up in front. Yeah, it looks like the 94 right there of Maxwell Caldwell gets into the side of Hemi Gherardini. Gherardini goes into the wall. The 61 of Chris Schuessler, not really anywhere to go, and tagging the backside there of the 75. And that is, trying to see here. I think that was the 75. I'm not seeing a 75 on the list. Here's a 76.
60.
Oh, yeah, 76 it was. There we go. It's the 76 there of Mike Rideout. Looks like we thought I might start with Todd Merkel, but he went through the grass to avoid all this. But you see some pretty heavy damage to the back of that 76 Coors Light machine for Schuessler. I'm sorry, for Rideout. So he may be coming in the pits, and certainly Emmy Gherardini took a bit of a shot as well. But it's early on here, but it's late enough that I think it's time for pit stops, and we're seeing just about everybody come in. But a couple that we're not seeing, and mainly one of them that we're not seeing, Gordon Larson, your leader, decides to stay out here. So maybe he was out there punishing his tires. It doesn't matter. He doesn't even want to come in and get some fuel. He wants that track position. Clearly, he thinks it's important and doesn't want to have a chance of getting held up here. But looks like he stays out. Eric Blunt stays out and moves up 22 positions. He's up now into second place. Brendan Muir came into pit lane, but it doesn't look like, I don't know if he missed his pit stall or what the case was. Only a 2-second pit stop for the 33. Moves him up into to third place. So I'm not even sure they got the nozzle of the fuel in there in 2 seconds and back out. I mean, you want to talk about a splash of fuel, Jimmy? That's quick.
I mean, I think somebody spit on the nozzle and maybe touched the tank.
Maybe they just hand him a drink in the car. Maybe he was a little thirsty, but
grabbing an ice cream. I don't know. I mean, whatever. But good move, great position. Obviously, huge jump there for this part of the race. Eric Blount finds himself up 22 spots, along with Brandon Muir, also up 22 spots in P number 3. So, nobody here is going to have any higher difference or like advantage here. Now it's just how long can they stay green? What kind of strategy do these guys have tonight? I did not get a chance to get out there and see how many laps you can even remotely get. So, I'm going to go, kind of maybe by like last week, maybe in that, what was it, 40-ish, 50-ish, I think, time or frame. So we'll see what these drivers can do starting from now. But obviously, this adds 10 laps. So we'll just be watching those drivers that did not come in, and I'll go ahead and we can see who exactly that was by just switching this here. And you can see a few drivers electing not to pit up front.
Yeah, a couple of them out there, but I don't think really anybody, if they did, they made a mistake. I don't think anybody really taking tires there. Looks like maybe Ty Marasco back there elected to take tires. Daniel Holloway in there for quite some time. I think there was a pit road penalty involved in that one. And Todd Merkel, Hemi Gherardini involved in the incident. Maxwell Caldwell also involved in the incident there, so maybe taking some time getting some repairs done. But we are lights out, and we're going to get ready to go back to the green flag here. Already on lap number 11, so about a tenth of the way through this race. It's going to be at the front. Gordon Larson looking to maybe stretch out that lead again. Eric Blunt now is the car in second. Brandon Muir, Tyler Hilton, Robert Kahn for your top 5. Corey Coe, Andrew Pileshi, John Garrett, Dalton Kilrow, and Robert Warnes for your top 10. But it's going to be in control by that 00 here on the restart.
Pace car off the raceway, getting ready to go back to green, waiting for that green flag to drop as Gordon Larson gets on the loud pedal, gets a nice jump there in front of the 33 of Brandon Muir. Blount on the outside, a little bit slower reaction time, going to fall back into P number 3 at the moment on the high side, but it leaves the door open for the 9 of Corey Coe. So Corey looking to keep moving his way forward, but look at Brandon Muir heading down the inside of Gordon Larson.
Man, 2 seconds in the pit stall is they gave him a little nitro or something like that. Maybe that's all they did. They dropped a little nitro tab in the gas tank or something. He is off like a cannon out there. I mean, he shot out there with the 00 there of Gordon Larson and made mincemeat of him in turns 1 and 2. Got to the bottom, got around him, and now he looks to try and check out here at the front. Gordon Larson right there in second, side by side for third between Corey Coe and Eric Blunt. And you got a few cars just single file before you get back towards the back half of the top 10. A little battling back there, but another good restart here from the boys at VVR. We're going to complete lap number 13 this time by. And again, got to give a shout out to all these drivers out here. I mean, 29 cars out there in the field. It looks like actually 28 cars making the start here. Graham Connolly, our man from down under, not making the start here tonight. I'm not sure what the case is for him, but either way, we still got 28 cars out there running strong. But you see, it doesn't take long for this field to stretch out. It's not that difficult of a track. Again, these drivers have plenty of time and understanding on this track, but it's how early you want to push, and it's what lines you want to get through. It's who's holding you up. It's kind of what you want to do. But you got to make decisions quick here. And if you feel like you're getting held up, you got to get around quick. You don't want to use up your tires. But you can fall back very, very quickly. I mean, we just had a restart right now. And, I mean, you look back to Maxwell Caldwell, and he is a full, trying to do the math here, he is about 6 seconds behind the leaders in just a couple laps.
Yeah, it doesn't take long there. They'll throw up the gap interval there up on the tower, so everybody can see where their drivers are at and how far back. Obviously, the gap being the distance from the leader to that position, and then the interval is between each of the cars. So you see how close a lot of them are running. They're still within that orange range, you know, under that half a second time frame. Numbers go yellow once they hit over a half a second, and then when it hits 1 second, they will turn white. So you can see right now Warren's and has the nice little gap there. He looks like to be falling back just a little bit, ever so slightly, but everything staying pretty close here. Just single file, and just kind of things do get stretched out. So we'll see how anxious some of these drivers get as we are now on lap 17 of 110.
It wasn't what I'd necessarily consider an early caution. I was right after they completed 10 laps, but it wasn't like a quick caution to start the race, which certainly can tense up the drivers out there thinking, okay, well, it's going to be a mess out here tonight, so I got to do what I got to do. And maybe that's the mindset that Gordon Larson had in the beginning. He thought it was going to be a little bit of a tricky one here tonight in regards to the caution, so he want to get out there and just fly away and get away from any kind of BS that may happen. And maybe that's what Brandon Muir is thinking right now, because he is out there to about a second lead, 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second right now over Gordon Larson, Corey Coe, Tyler Hilton, and John Garrett for your top 5. But again, you see how bright this track is, and you see that kind of the shine off the track. Sometimes you don't even need to be looking into the direct sun. The shine coming off the track here can be a little difficult to see sometimes, and kind of pick out your marks. And I mean, for me, it's kind of weird. There's some tracks that I go to, especially on the roadside, where they lack trackside markers and they lack places to make your turn in or your braking points. And sometimes I'll kind of judge it by the shadows on the track, because the shadows typically, depending on what time you're running, obviously, are going to be about at the same spot. But here it's kind of the same thing. Sometimes you're looking for little marks on the track, little bumps in the track, maybe even those the white dashed lines there. But sometimes you can go in there with this sun and this glare, and you might not be able to see all of a sudden, from one lap to the other, where that mark is that you've been looking at the track.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that, Andrew. No, just hopping on board. Yeah, you can just see the sun glaring off the hoods. Anything that's shiny can bounce into your eye. I mean, I've been wearing blue light blocker I call them sunglasses, glasses, because watching. I'm always staring at computer screens all day long. But so they got like an amber tint. But when you had HDR on, we were talking about it before, like at Sebring, they actually have a corner called Sunset. That is one of the brightest. Like somebody's just shining a flashlight in your eye. It's so bright. And like if you wore regular sunglasses, like that you would, like if you're in a race car, these computer screens don't always look the greatest, or it takes something too much out of them. So to kind of not have to wear sunglasses, yeah, a lot of us will take that HDR off. But right now we have Brandon Muir out front taking advantage of the situation and getting out front, getting some laps led here early, up 24 spots, about almost as max as one can get. Gordon Larson in P number 2, Corey Coe's in 3rd, Tyler Hilton's back here in 4th, then John Garrett finds himself in 5th. Eric Blount still holding strong there in P number 6. Robert Kahn looking down at the inside of Blount, looking to take that way at P number 6 and P number 17, and he does. Then Andrew Pleshy has fallen back to P number 8. So maybe Andrew struggling a little bit with the tire model here. DJ Mitchell finds himself in P number 9, and Len McNeese in 10th. And then the rest of the field, you have Robert Warrens, Dalton Kilroe, Daniel Holloway, Mike Hasey, Hayden Wheeler, Cade Green, Michael Pratt, Ty Marasco, Dennis Warrens, Mike Rideout for your top 20. Chris Schusler, Rick Thompson, Mike Maxwell Caldwell, Michael Taylor, Hemi Gardini, Brian Rainville, Hilton Young, Todd Merkel, and Graham Connolly. I think Graham's out for the night, but still 28 cars on track.
Yeah, and a good restart here. But you take a look at that track map right there, and you see it's pretty much half the track already covered from the front there, Brandon Muir, all the way to the back there being Todd Merkel. The two way in the back right now, after he was kind of like midfield when that last incident happened, but he's already plenty far behind, and he's got plenty of time to catch back up. But you know, if this thing stays green, that's when you can really find yourself behind the 8 ball and really trying to catch back up to these guys. But catching back up to the leader is Gordon Larson. It was out to 9/10 of a second. It's down to 2/10 of a second right now. So Larson right there, and then even Corey Coe, top 3, kind of under a blanket right now, all within a half a second of each other. And then you got another second back to our 4th place driver, which is Robert Kahn, moving that 21 back up to the top there. But the guys that did not come into the pit on that pit stop there on lap number 9, Gordon Larson, Eric Blunt, you almost kind of need a caution to come out here, I would say, within the next 5 to 10 laps to keep you on that same strategy, because you will go a lap down here at Charlotte, or very close to it, coming into to make your green flag pit stop. And they would certainly be coming in 9 laps earlier, at minimum, compared to all these other drivers.
Yeah, I mean, it could pay out at the end, depending on how they stretch their fuel. But yeah, you're right, Carl. I'm not sure when that window is, and obviously that's a decision they made. But sometimes when you get caught with an early caution, you figure maybe you roll the dice, and maybe it'll happen again, like sooner than later. And then when everybody comes in to top off of fuel again, you just gained all them positions. I mean, Brandon Muir he's in P number 2 now, as Gordon Larson takes back over the lead. And he's trying to hold off Corey Coe and Robert Kahn, but
everyone he's trying to hold off here as Corey Coe blinks out there. It's 4 cars now under a blanket as Robert Kahn runs them down. It was almost 3 wide there, and it could be 3 wide here very soon. Kahn looking to the bottom. He's gonna get to the inside. It looks like the 00 of Gordon Larson gonna fall back just a little bit and relinquish that spot. So Larson goes from 1st to 4th. In 1 lap there as he drops all the way back. Robert Kahn takes over the lead. It's getting racy here. Only 20 laps since the caution, but already these drivers kind of grouping up, and now that little bit of a gap that was back there is gone, and you have the top 8 right now under 1.8 seconds from 1st all the way back to 8th. So very tight here for the top 8, and then you get another 1.5 seconds back to Robert Warrens and DJ Mitzel, very close right there at the back half of the top 10. I want to send a shout out to everyone that is out there watching out here tonight. Barry, of course, always out there. Brian Rainville checking in. And Barry, wishing you a happy birthday there, Jimmy. It's what was it, 25, 26 years old?
Yeah,
you're only as old as you feel.
25 so I guess plus another 23.
You're only as old as you feel, so I guess about 60 is what you're feeling sometimes.
Sometimes, some days. No, I'm a good old trusty 48 years old. It's not too bad. It's a good day, quiet for the most part. Looking forward to obviously the races and. Enjoy the evening. The best part is I took tomorrow off from work too.
Very nice. I can take one guess what one thing you'd be doing tomorrow, and it's probably out here and testing your mettle in some of these official races. And I know we were talking about it a little bit earlier, and I keep thinking about it during the day, and I keep maybe I'll get in there and just mix up here a little bit, but I can't. It's so tough as a 19 gets shoved out into the outside wall there. That is
Cade Green.
As he's going to drop back to 15th, and hard impact there. He's going to drop it down to the bottom. Caution is not going to come out here as he kept it straight the whole time, but there's a lot of damage to the right side of that 19. He's going to have to limp it back into pits and take an early pit stop here and get a fast repair. So, maybe in the grand scheme of things, not going to hurt too much, right? Eric Blunt now coming in to the pits from the front.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe that's the time frame right now, 33 laps, give or take, so maybe that 30, like I said, that 33 laps under green, or maybe just going to come in there and split this thing up here and take some gas and go, or rights or something. But Blount down and out and back going. Robert Kahn still out to lead, and you can see him coming down the front stretch right now as Blount is leaving the pits. So going a lap down, obviously it takes about 30 seconds for these drivers to get around here, between 30 and 31 seconds for the most part. Super fast. I don't know. I think I've seen 29s before, but not here tonight as of yet. So these drivers are trying to stretch things out, trying to save tires. But Robert Kahn out to a nice lead here right now with a 1.7 second lead. See another driver heading down in the pits. I'll go ahead and pull this up so you can see who those people are when they come in, since it seems like pit stops are starting to happen for some of those that have been out. Right, that was Hilton Young obviously coming down in the pits right now. So here's the standings right now as we are at lap 35 of 110 here at Charlotte.
You're already a third of the way through this race and getting ready for some pit stops. And you mentioned tires and tire wear. These drivers can't just come in and take, new sets of tires every time they come in. They only got a certain allotted amount of tires, only 3 sets for the entire race. So they need to be, wary and think about kind of when they want to come in and take those tires, because you don't want to get caught up in a situation where you come in through a pit cycle and you decide, I'm going to save an extra set of tires for later on in the race. Maybe there's some late race cautions, I can catch somebody. But then all of a sudden the race goes green, and those used tires will absolutely kill you if it stays green and everybody else got some fresh tires. But then, vice versa. If you decide to take tires on the first green flag pit stop, and then you take another set of tires on the next green flag pit stop, if it ends up being a late race caution and groups everybody up and some drivers still have a set in the pits, you're going to be a sitting duck. So, this is, it's not everybody has the luxury or the friends, sorry to say, to sit in there and watch them race and be their crew chief. But it is certainly an option for some of these drivers to actually have a spotter out there that can not only spot and help them try and figure out, when they can make their move, or if there's a car inside, outside, anything like that, or maybe what some of the other drivers around them are doing, or what their competitors are doing. But they can also step in and actually be their crew chief. They can take over as their crew chief and, turn on or off fuel, how much fuel they want to take, what tires they want to take, anything like that. They can make all those changes for the driver, so it's one less thing they have to worry about out there. But it's a tough situation in league racing like this, where you have only sets of tires. You kind of have to make a decision, whether you're a driver out there, whether you're a crew chief. You have to make a call. Sometimes you have to make it on the fly, and you gotta hope it's the right one.
Yeah, it's not easy, And you talked about going out there and slinging the middle around on the officials, and I guess the biggest thing I could tell you, Carl, is if you decide to do it, it's no, Gardini. A little drifting action coming down into the pits.
That was kind of nice. Give a bonus point for that.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of front right damage on that 17 still, so maybe coming down, maybe getting that fixed or that quick repair here now, as maybe it's slowing up just a little bit. The 17 is in for his pit stop, and you gotta take that fast repair. Gets put out. Looks like some tires going on that car as well, as it goes up in the air and then down and away it goes. So down in and out for the number 17 of Gherardini, but you can see already we only have 17 drivers still remain on the lead lap. 18. Last one being Dan Holloway, as he is pitting right now.
Yeah, we got John Garrett, Robert Warrens in the pits as well, coming down this time by. The only car one lap down that has not yet pitted is Todd Merkel. So everybody in that top 18 that's not showing in pit lane right now still needs to make their pit stop. So still going to shuffle around quite a bit. But this is a situation here where you come in early. You're going to have those fresher tires if you decide to take tires, and you're going to be able to get out there and really put some hot laps down. And even if you don't take tires, you get to cool those tires down a little bit. Should be a little bit faster going around the track, but your tires at the end of that next run are going to be a lot worse than the other guys coming in, and you're going to have less fuel, everything like that. So the short pit certainly works, but if you get caught out, especially if a caution comes out in the midst of the pit cycle, we've seen it more often than not, it can really put throw a wrench into your situation. As right now, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, first time we've seen the 41 up there in the lead, qualifying in 9th place, sticking this thing out, trying to hang out there as long as possible, going around for yet another lap. He pit on lap number 9 under the caution, as did a few of his other competitors that are still behind him. Ty Marasco, Mike Rideout still yet to come in, and it looks like Hayden Wheeler, Mike Rideout going to come in this time by, so it's going to leave 3 drivers yet to come in. Your top 3, Dalton Kilroe, Rick Thompson, Ty Marasco, have to complete their pit stops. But you see, if a caution came out right now, a ton of drivers caught one lap down. Granted, they'd be able to take the wave around, but they'd be on the back foot for sure because they wouldn't be able to come in to the pits if they take a wave around. But now, leader Kilrow going to come in. Thompson going to come in. Looks like Marasco going to stick it out for one more lap. And we get a lap-led bonus point here, and then bring that number 1 in next time by.
I mean, sometimes you gotta take it when you can get it. Maybe Ty not being able to get that one Dairy Queen machine out to the front here tonight, but been running a pretty consistent race. Obviously, started in the top 5, but right now leading the race. You see, he has a little bit of right front damage, and that could be from a venture of many things. Could probably just be tagging the wall coming out of 4, but he's going to bring it by this time by, and that's going to move things back. And it looks like, I believe, your leader will be Robert Kahn, as he's coming down the backstretch right now. So Ty Marasco should put himself in a pretty good spot. But Ty Marasco, Andrew Palesci, 1-2. Brandon Meir should be in 3rd. It'd be a fall close, well, not too close there by Dal and Kilrow.
And just a reminder that it's a Dairy Queen logo there on that one, but it's disqualified.
Disqualified.
Is the stickers on the side of that car and on the hoods, but it is Robert Kahn that's going to be in the lead. But you see some of the drivers out there with new tires. I'm going to give you a little hint of which one it is. You see how fast that Golf number 9 is right now. Yeah, he took tires, and you can see the difference in taking tires and the difference in not passing these cars like it's a multi-class race right now. And he's in one of the prototypes, and everyone else is riding the GT3s as he is flying by everyone with those new tires. Robert Warren's back there. He has new tires right behind it, right there in the 95. He's following the 9 right up through the field. Dalton Kilrow is, I believe it's Dalton Kilrow. I know it's John Garrett is another one that has tires on his number 66 machine, trying to make his way up through the field. Michael Pratt also decided to take tires, so kind of split, like maybe about 10 drivers throughout the field taking tires, as Garrett using up some tires right there, taking some evasive actions there to get around some of these cars. But still at the front, it is Robert Kahn, Andrew Palesci for the time being, but Corey Coe, and you see right behind Robert Warren's running them down quickly.
Yeah, and they're not done pitting for any means here tonight. They're probably gonna at least need to pit one more time, maybe even 2, Carl.
Yeah, and what's going to be interesting is these drivers that took the tires this time, they're obviously going to be fast, and it's just a matter of time until Corey Coe, Robert Warrens, and John Garrett are your top 3 here in the race. It's just, there's nothing that Robert Kahn and Andrew Palesci can really do unless these tires really start to even out. But I mean, you're looking at the last lap times, and Corey Coe, Robert Warrens, a full second faster. That is a huge advantage, a huge margin there for taking new tires. So they'll end up being your top 3 in just a matter of time. But when it comes to that second pit stop, if it comes under green, well, even if it doesn't come under green, this next pit stop, they're going to have to make a decision because they're only going to have one more set of tires in the pits. If they decide to take tires, then they got nothing for that last pit stop, and that could be the money stop. So it's a real toss-up. I mean, if you can kind of start doing the numbers and start figuring it out. You got the one there of Ty Marasco stretching it out very far, not pitting until lap number 44 when, your leader's up here, like Robert Warren's pit on lap number 40. So Marasco's got an extra 4 laps in the tank on that first run. If he stretches out again, it's going to be a lot shorter of a run for him at the end, and maybe that's where he can take the chance of going out there without getting a new set of tires. But right now, they're all chasing the 95 out front. He does have those new tires. Corey Coe is going to slide now into second place. John Garrett's still back there in 5th. So in between them, it is Robert Kahn and Andrew Palesci in 3rd and 4th. Dalton Kilrow, Brandon Meir, Mike Hasty, Eric Blunt, and Tyler Hilton going out there for your top 10 right now as we are 50 laps through this race.
Yeah, 50 laps down. You see Michael Pratt just fly on by Tyler Hilton. So Pratt,
he's got new tires.
He's got those.
Just in case you were wondering, he's got new tires.
He's got jet fuel. And new tires. Yeah, definitely a big, huge difference. And it's just what makes things interesting here. And, you know, here at VVR, they tend to run, you know, more green flag running than, you know, an official with tons of cautions. So, you know, it could be anything. So you got to really take chances with your decisions when it comes down to pit stops. And, you know, maybe tires was the call. You know, you get out there, you're out there for 30 laps. That take you out to 70. You got one more set in there. That should take you to at least 100. You know, with pretty much new tires. It's just being able to stretch them tires, just that little bit overlap, and hopefully they don't see a caution flag for the rest of the race. And we've seen it here. You know, they've gone green. You know, like from start to finish before many a times. So it's always a possibility. Can they do it here tonight? So right now, 28 cars still on track. 26 of them still on the lead lap. Hilton Young and Todd Merkel are 1 and 2 laps down, but Robert Warrens leads the pack right now in that number 95 over Corey Cove, John Garrett for your top 3, then Robert Kahn, Andrew Pileshi, Dalton Kilroe, Michael Pratt, Mike Hasty, and Brandon Meir, Eric Blount for your top 10. DJ Mitzel will start the second on the middle of the pack here with Dennis Warrens, Cade Green, Hayden Wheeler, Rick Thompson, Daniel Holloway, Len McNeese, Brian Rainville, Gordon Larson, and Maxwell Caldwell for your top 20. And then Mike Taylor in P21 with Mike Rideout, Chris Schuessler, Ty Marasco, Emmy Garridini, Tyler Young, or excuse me, Hilton Young, Tyler Hilton, and Todd Merkel for your 28 cars.
Gordon Larson into pit lane, and this is certainly an earlier pit stop than I figured was going to come in. Obviously, he was one of those drivers that had that elected to stay out under that first caution, so he had to come in plenty early compared to everybody else. But this still seems pretty early here for the 00 to come in. But then again, Brandon Muir also now coming into the pits as well. So I know you said around the 30 lap mark. I don't think that's the case because they were all coming in around you know, anywhere from lap 33 to 40, but that was after pitting on lap number 9. So I think it's a very short run here for these drivers here tonight, and we could be looking at least another 2 and possibly another 3 depending on how this thing plays out when it comes to pit stops. But Robert Warren's out there. He is your leader, and he is your leader by 3.25 seconds. He's also your leader in points coming in here, as it's got a little bit of a wobble there with the lap car on the outside of Hemi Garridini, but stays the inside, makes a pass. But again, he came into the points lead here by 1 point over Andrew Pileshi, who is up there in 4th place. Robert Warren's only 1 win on the season, but it's been consistency. He's got 3 top 5s out of the 5 races so far, and that's what's done it for him right now. You look at some of the other guys up front, like Corey Cove, for instance, out there with those fresh tires. He's mired back there in 23rd in points, and he's run as many races. He ran all 5 so far this year, but only 1 top 10 to speak of, no top 5. So this is a quality run for the number 9 right now. If he can keep that golf out there, if he can keep that strategy as the correct strategy, he may be looking at his best finish of the season.
Yeah, he can really get a good finish here, you know, if things go his way. You know, obviously taking advantage of the tire situation now, and you know, trying to get as much space on the field as possible. And the only thing I could think of, Carl, is, you know, those drivers that came down, is just trying to utilize, maybe they didn't take tires when they went in, so now they're getting tires, and they're just going to split the rest of the remaining race, and you know, because they're going to have to stop again anyways. So maybe they were just that short. So now, no longer short, just going to split it in half and get the tires the most usage they can out of them. So we'll see what happens with those drivers that decided to pit not too long ago. But Robert Warren's not pitting right now, or not trying to pit, as he has got a nice 4-second lead over Corey Cove and Andrew Pileshi. Then you have Robert Kahn and Mike Pratt in P55.
Yeah, this is a bit early for Pratt to be up at the front. We still got another 50 laps to go in this race, but I'm thinking maybe, he's on those fresh tires right now. On this next run, when he comes in, he's probably not going to take tires. He's going to fall back to the back again just to take tires on that very next pit stop and run back through the field again. So it's early for him to be in the top 5, but I'm sure he'll fall back through the field so he can make one more charge and see where he can go. It's funny. We talk about it so many times. He started tonight in 27th in the field here, but we unfortunately we don't get to talk to him too much because a lot of times during one of his runs through the field he gets caught up in some other someone else's mistakes or just wrong spot at the wrong time, and fortunately we don't get to talk to him at the end of the race. So we'll see how it plays out here tonight. But Robert Warrens, Corey Coe, Andrew Pileski for your top 3. We do have some more coming in the pits. Looks like Mike Rideout now into the pits as well. So we're getting close to some more pit stops. I would think around maybe lap 65 to 70 we should start seeing another round of pit stops here for the VVR ARCA series.
Oh, and they were in there right around that lap 41, 42. Blount and Green were in at 33, so they should be coming in here very shortly, as they've been out there for 31 laps right now. On lap 63.
Very close battling there with the one of Ty Marasco and our leader, the 95 of Robert Warrens, as Marasco tries to avoid going a lap down here. But it's a pretty frantic and toward pace right now by Robert Warrens. He's out there to a 4.6 second lead, and again he pits 3 laps later than Corey Coe, so he's got a little bit fresher tires than him, but he pit on the same lap as Michael Pratt, and he's got 7.25 seconds ahead of Michael Pratt. So it's been a heck of a run for him right now. Cade Green now comes into the pits. John Garrett actually came into the pits not too long ago on lap number 57, and just a quick pit stop, 6.6 seconds. So certainly fuel only for the 66, and that's a very quick pit stop. So he's maybe got a different strategy in mind for the second half of this race, but that's exactly where we are. We're past the halfway point now, and then some, as we are on lap number 65 of 110, all chasing that 95 at the front. But Jimmy, I think it's about time we give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it.
A little bit of love here. Let's crank her up. right, sights and sounds here at Charlotte as VVR continues to get around here at a good clip, and it looks like Robert Warrens is your current leader, but not by much, and by a mess of drivers behind him. You can see 26 going to his inside. It's not for position, just obviously you got newer tires. Actually, the one that's in for position would be John Garrett. So only 2/10 behind Warrens. And then you have Brandon Meir in the 33. So strategy paying out for a couple of those drivers, seeing them continually put their cars up towards the front here. Looks like we're going to have at least maybe that one more pit stop here. As you look, as their last person in the pit was Warrens on lap 71.
Yeah, looking back through the field, Dalton Kilroe pitting on lap number 77, stretching that thing out just a little bit more. And taking a look even further back through the field, Ty Marasco pitting on lap number 78. Maybe an outside chance of trying to stretch this thing all the way out to the end, but it's still going to take quite a bit. But yeah, I was going to say John Garrett, Tyler Hilton, both up there with Robert Warrens. And they pit pretty early, and actually Brandon Meir last pit on lap number 55, so he'll be coming up on a pit stop here pretty soon as well. So Corey Coe now going to take over the lead. He's got another set of fresh tires on that 9. But the question is, does he have any left? I don't think he has any left in the pits. But he's only going to need to make one more pit stop, another splash and go to get this thing to the end. Maybe he's got the right strategy. There's about 13 different strategies out here tonight. So, I mean, me and Jimmy talked about it on the little break there. I have no flipping clue who's got the right strategy right now. I don't know who is going to win. I don't know who's going to finish in the top 10. I got nothing right now. What do you guys think out there? Let us know in the comments who you think has the right strategy, who you think's going to pull this thing off, who's your favorite driver. Let us know. We'll try and get them up there on the screen for you and let you know how they're doing. We know we certainly got some fans out there watching. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As we got a good one here tonight. We are now under the lights here at Charlotte. The lights are on here at the big 1.5 mile oval, and the cars are doing all kinds of dancing right now. That 94 has got reservations to get around these cars as quick as possible. He was just recently down a lap, and now he's made his, I believe he's made his final pit stop. Take a look at the last time the 94 Maxwell Caldwell came in on lap 71.
A little far out.
It's gonna be tough, especially with as hard as he's running to try and come up through this field. Andrew Pileshi now comes into the pits. The 33 has also come into the pits. Brandon Meir, he's back now into 20th position. So that's how far these drivers are dropping. I mean, Meir was up there battling with Corey Coe for the lead. Comes in, makes his pit stop, now back to 20th. So it's a big gap.
My eyes are on drivers like you said, Kilroe, 77. He has a shot making that thing stretch that long. I mean, and he's not too far back. And also 78 of Ty Marasco should finish well. Pileshi was in on lap 85. He should be good to go for the remainder laps.
Yeah, but the problem is with the one at Ty Marasco, he's in 17th now, and he may not have to make another pit stop, but he's got Brandon Meir, Robert Warrens, John Garrett, Tyler Hilton, Dennis Warrens, all right behind him, and Brandon Meir already making the pass and going around. So Meir obviously pitting on lap number 83. He is going to be good to go all the way to the end. So Marasco may be able to stretch this thing out and maybe come up with a better finish that he might have had on speed. But I'm not sure if this is exactly the right strategy. We'll see if it pays off for the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, who's up a little bit further in the pack, up there in 6th place, and got a pretty decent margin between him and Pileshi. Pileshi pitting out in lap number 85. He's in 14th and kind of one of the top running guys right now that is good to go to the end, as Mike Hasty now into pit lane for his last pit stop. But right now, Corey Coe, Robert Kahn, Michael Pratt, Eric Blunt, and Dalton Kilroe in your top 5. 22 laps to go here at Charlotte.
22 to go, and anybody going in now is definitely going to have enough to the end. They need anywhere when they had about 30 laps. They should have been good to go. Under green, obviously, if you get a green-white checker or a caution late in the race like we've seen at times, not all the time, but at times. You know, and if somebody's cut with fuel, you'll hear them coasting. But here during the break there, I did catch a few drivers really trying to fuel save. You know, whether it's you know, a tenth here, a tenth there, trying to add it up to save that time, maybe in the pits, and stretch it out to make sure they only have to do one more stop. So it's gonna be close. But for Corey Cove is gonna be in here probably within the next, I don't know, you say about 5 laps or so, I would think. You know, maybe 10. So yeah, I'm sure
Robert Kahn, Eric Blunt dropping down in there right now from the top 5, and you see it's down to about 10 drivers left on the lead lap as well. So you got to pay attention to that. We haven't, knock on wood, had a caution since lap number 9. So it's been, or actually lap number 8. So it's been a long time since we've had a caution, and it's getting later in the race now. It's now under 20 laps to go. So if we get a late race caution, you see it right there. Only the top 10 currently on the lead lap, and it would certainly shake some things up, and those top 10 would really benefit from a caution at this point. But if it doesn't come out, which doesn't look like it's going to at this point, certainly the man right there in 9th place is sitting kind of pretty right now. He pit on lap number 85. He is good to go to the end. Looked like he had a chance at the win last week at Richmond before a very fast number 41, Dalton Kilroe, came up on him, tried to make the pass on the outside, and they end up getting together with 2 laps to go and kind of ruining both their chances at the win late stages there at Richmond. But now maybe the 85, I'm sorry, the 81 there of Andrew Pileshi having another bite at the apple here tonight at Charlotte. 18 laps to go. We still got probably about, looks like 9 of the top 10, maybe 8 of the top 10 need to come back in, as that was a big hit on the outside wall by Hemi Giardini. Keeps it going, keeps it straight. For the time being, he just passed pit lane, so he came and just bring it right in there. He's going to have to make it around, but again, I mean, some of the drivers running their fastest laps of the race right now. Robert Kahn running the fastest lap of the entire race with a 30.09 that last lap. So the tension is getting a little tighter here late stages of the race, and we'll see if anything happens late. But here is the pit stop from your leader, Corey Coe.
Corey Coe drop it in. That's going to, I believe, put the man he's done it. Carl, he's done it this week. He's went from the front or the back to the front. You know, I don't know if he can stretch this thing out here and finish it up, but definitely has brought the 77 from the back to the front, you know, right here to lead himself a lap. So, you know, it's always a moment to watch, you know, Michael Pratt get his 77 machine out here and get himself, you know, a good, looks like he should come up with a pretty decent finish, hopefully. But the lead here from, you know, starting in the back, it's a challenge every week. I mean, I know when we talked to him after a few times being on the podium, and, you know, he just enjoys driving. So, but out here, this is one of his more favorite tracks. So you see, looks like that was that.
I was going to say, he better move quickly, because that number 21, Robert Kahn, is looking to get around this track very quickly. He gets his lap back there and gets back on the lead lap. He ran a 29.93, only driver under 30 seconds here the entire night. Very fast, number 21 right now. Got held up a little bit on that lap, but he is certainly the fastest one on the track, but he's buried right now back in 16th position. Dalton Kilroe is certainly one to watch. He is good to go to the end. There's a couple more from that top 10. Hayden Wheeler and Daniel Holloway coming in to make their final pit stops. Michael Pratt got to come in. I don't think there's any way he stretches it all the way to the end. DJ Mitzel, I think same thing. It's going to be really tough for that 4 to make it all the way to the end. Maxwell Caldwell, probably the same situation. But the other ones that you're looking at in that top 10, Dalton Kilroe pitting on lap number 77, as did Rick Thompson. Chance that they can make it to the end for sure. Andrew Pileshi in the 85, or in the 81, pitting on lap number 85. He's good to go to the end. Robert Warren's pitting on lap 82. He's good to go. Brandon Muir and Tyler Hilton also good to go all the way to the end. But can Kilroe keep enough of a lead for when he takes the lead here once Michael Pratt comes in? Does he have enough of a buffer between him and some of these other drivers that are a little bit further back right now? Like Andrew Pileshi right now is 10 seconds behind the 41. And really, that's kind of the first competitor that I think Kilroe is going to have to worry about. We're getting close to the end of this thing. It is ticking away very, very quickly. 12 laps to go here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and just kind of going around, you can hear some of the drivers trying to save that little bit of fuel, lifting early, posting around the corners, just pushing the clutch and just let her go around. Don't worry about giving her throttle. Saving fuel in any car right now, it's not about the RPMs, it's about throttle position. I wish iRacing would step back away from that and to go back to like the gear and RPMs and not throttle position. But anyways, you get off the throttle, and that's the easiest way to save fuel. So, but Kilroe, he's not all out. I can tell you that right now. There is a few spots he's lifting, so he might be close, but he's definitely has the time to stretch it out. That's why I think you're not seeing him close in on Michael Pratt very fast, and even getting past there by Larson there on the outside right now.
We are down to 10 laps to go here at Charlotte. Again, it's by all means, I believe Michael Pratt has got to come into the pits, and yep, there it is. He gives up the lead here, brings it down at pit road. That's going to give the lead to Dalton Kilroe. In the 41, he's got a 5-second lead over DJ Mitzel, but Mitzel most likely got to come in too. Michael Pratt also, Maxwell Caldwell also coming in with Michael Pratt. So 2 more drivers dropping out of the top 10, coming in to make that final splash and dash to get to the end of this thing. Kilroe with a 5-second lead over Mitzel, but it's that 7.6 that he's got to worry about, and he's got to keep an eye on from him and Paleshi. The last lap, Paleshi was not quick enough to catch him. He was about 0.7 of a second faster than the 41, but that's not going to be enough to catch him within these last 8 laps to go. He's got to pick up the pace and try and hope that that 41 is going to save a little bit more before he runs out of fuel to the end. We've got strategies here tonight at Charlotte for sure. Hope you're enjoying the racing out there. Again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here at CRN, as it's been a good one here for VVR. Race number 6 here on the season. And quickly taking a look at the upcoming schedule, as we are going to be back in action next week at the Nashville Super Speedway. Another fun little trioval there, concrete trioval. Going to be interesting to see how the drivers handle that one. We'll have a week off before we head to the Coliseum of Bristol Motor Speedway there to round out April here for the month. But right now we got to finish this one out. 7 laps to go, 7 seconds. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. It is it's going to be 5.6 seconds from Kilroe to Andrew Paleshi, so the time is coming down. But is there enough time in the bank? 6 laps to go here at Charlotte. It's kind of interesting and maybe kind of fitting that last week we had Paleshi and Kilroe get together at the end of the race, and what do you know? We got Kilroe and Paleshi first and second here tonight, and Kilroe looking in front with Gardini and Pratt kind of getting together almost there, and that's not what he wants to see in the front of the field here. He wants to be able to have a nice clean race at the front. 5.8 seconds, not really getting any smaller. In fact, Kilroe 1/100th of a second faster that lap, and it doesn't seem like much, but the fact that he is faster period is certainly working out to his favor. So Kilroe may have the right strategy here tonight. Looking back for the number 1 of Ty Marasco, as he was trying to run the same strategy. It looks like he has retired for the night back there in 26th position. So not going to make it to the end here. He's going to retire, but 4 laps to go here at Charlotte. It is still a sizable lead, 5.8 seconds, and I think Kilroe maybe now realizes he's good to go to the end, because he's back on that loud pedal and stretching it out, now getting closer to 6 seconds down at the backstretch, and coming around to complete it. 3 laps left.
Yeah, I think all the saving that Kilroe's done tonight, like I said, I heard him a few times lifting quite often, and obviously it takes a lot of discipline and to be patient, and I think that's what Kilroe did here tonight. He was able to be patient with the car, with the other drivers, and know that this race is 110 laps. This isn't a short shootout. This isn't an official sprint race, where we don't pit at all, or if you do pit, you just get tires or go back out. It's all about tire grip. I mean, obviously they had to manage their tires and manage their fuel, but I think right now Kilroe is on pace. Unless he runs out in the next 2 laps, you can see some drivers still trying to get a good finish there. Who was that? Was it the 99? 98? Michael Taylor, I think. But anyways, get by Kilroe. So definitely just, a lot of strategy has gone into this one. And I think because it ran green, it just fell, pretty much just fell right into Dalton Kilroe's plan. And it has worked out here tonight as he is on his last lap.
Yeah, white flag in the air. One more lap to go as he comes down the backstretch, goes to the inside of Gordon Larson to try and just easily get around the lap car here and complete it. Kilroe, Paleschi, Warnes, and Kahn, they were the top 4 late in the race last week at Richmond, but this time Kilroe is gonna get the W. He's gonna get his first win on the season. It maybe took a little longer than we expected, but it's only race number 6, and we already see the 41 in victory lane. Paleschi comes home in second. Robert Warnes, your points leader, comes home in third. Another very, very good run for the 95. Robert Kahn going to come home in 4th place here tonight. Another good run. Brandon Muir, we've seen him up and down with these different strategies here tonight. He brings it home in the top 5. A good run for him as well. But, I mean, realistically, again, you look at these points coming in. Warnes came in with a 1-point lead over Paleschi. Kilroe 9 points behind in third. And, I mean, they're right there. They're right there, 1, 2, 3. And it's going to shake up the points. And we could have a 3-way tie heading into next week at Nashville. But the 41 has got some celebrating to do here tonight. It's been a little bit of time coming since the season 1 champion has got to do the dance on the front stretch. Your winner here tonight, the 41 of Kilroe.
Yeah, 41 able to burn it down here tonight, and I'm sure finally shaking the monkey that's been dragging them down, getting into incidents, whatever it may be. So yeah, definitely a good run here by the 41 and the rest of the field, of course. As I'll go ahead and bring up those results for everybody to see on the screen as everybody takes their time to get into the booth and get some photos snapped for their awesome website. But here is your overall race results here, and I will show that Dalton Kilroe, the winner, over Andrew Paleschi and Robert Warnes for your top 3. Then Robert Kahn, Brandon Muir for your top 5. Tyler Hilton, John Garrett, Mike Hasty, Rick Thompson, and Eric Blount for your top 10. And you have Corey Coe, Dennis Warnes, Gordon Larson, Daniel Holloway, Len McNeese, DJ Mitzel, Maxwell Caldwell, Hayden Wheeler for your top 18. And then we'll forward it to the rest of the field back here. 19th will be Mike Rideout, Cade Green, and 20th Michael Pratt finishes in 21st. Chris Schuessler, Michael Taylor, Hilton Young, Hemi Giardini, Brian Rainville, Ty Marasco, Todd Merkel for your drivers that were out there here tonight for your top 28. And then Graham Conley was out there for practice, and hopefully maybe just wasn't quite comfortable with the car, but still looking forward to seeing that 71 out there racing with everybody else. But good run by all drivers. I'm looking forward to talking to the podium finishers here tonight and see what they have to say.
Yeah, and we got him pretty much queued up and ready. So we'll bring him in here in a second. Before we do, I want to send a thank you again out there to our series sponsors, that being Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for all their help and all their support here of the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA series. And also a shout out to the man behind the curtains here at VVR, Tim Lee. Unfortunately, not out here tonight, probably jet setting somewhere out there, but I'm sure he'd just as well love to be out here racing with his friends and fellow competitors out here on the track. But shout out to Tim. I'm sure he's either watching live or he's going to tune in to see how these boys did here tonight. And I think they put on a fantastic race. Only one caution early on in the race to speak of, and then we went green for a majority of this 110-lap race. So congrats to all the drivers out there for a fantastic job, and it gives the opportunity for these multiple strategies to kind of play themselves out and figure out which one has the right one. But third place here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 95 of Robert Warnes.
Hey, Robert, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
What's up, Jimmy and Carl? Haven't talked to you guys in a week. How you been?
Yeah, it's been a week. I mean, you gonna ever not finish on the podium this season?
I mean, no.
We're gonna
He said no.
Up here for
He
you.
said
We're just
no.
gonna have you up here.
I mean, we're gonna have to get a chair, put your name on it, and like maybe
That's fine.
whatever. But no, another great run here by the 95. You know, you got a chance to. I think you led a few laps, and somewhere in there in the race. Come down to I think a lot of pit and fuel strategy here tonight. Kind of give us a rundown of how your race was and how you were able to finish well and what you could have done to maybe take another win.
Yeah, I think the first part of the run there, the first 40 laps, because we had that early caution, I saved a little too much, and then I came in, took tires, and then I decided to flip the strategy. I ran 10 laps or 12 laps, and then I came in and took the last bit of fuel. Looks like the other guys were saving a little bit more than I was. I wasn't saving anything because I thought they all had to pit. And turns out that Andrew and Dalton both had just a slight bit better strategy than me. Dalton, I think he finished about 10 seconds ahead of me, and then Andrew about 5. So that's all the lucky lady had in the cards for me tonight, but just thankful to be up in the podium again because I'm here for the long haul for a championship. So I definitely got some homework to do if these guys are beating me in the 110 laps.
Yeah, I mean, you come in here with a 1-point lead, and now the people that were right behind you were in front of you. So it could walk away out of here. You never know, a 3-way tie going into next week. So I wish you the best of luck. Wanted to say congratulations on another great finish here at VVR tonight at Charlotte, and let you get some shout outs on that number 95.
Yeah, no, shout out to CRN for putting on a show tonight for us. Watch back later, and the admins of VVR, that's great. And shout out to my bro. I don't know where you finished tonight. Hopefully, you finished well enough. But
at 12th place.
Oh, I mean, almost the top 10. Way to go, bro. But yeah, thank you guys for pulling me up here, and warm up my chair for next week. I'll be back.
We'll turn the heater on, but not too hot. So, but anyway, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, take care.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 95 of Robert Warnes. He's Canadian, Jimmy, so you can go ahead and crank up the heat for him. I'm sure you wouldn't mind that a little bit. But second place here,
melt. He needs the cool. He's like a husky. He's like a husky, man. You can't have it too hot.
You're right. Second place here tonight is going to be the 81 of Andrew Pileshi. And Andrew, I think it was fun from the booth here. I don't know how it was out there on the track, but watching the tire strategy from some of you guys out there, and 1 second difference for a lap, it doesn't sound like much to the layperson, but when you guys are only getting around this track in 30 seconds in time, and somebody is 1 second faster than you with these different tires, some guys taking tires, some not on these pit stops. How crazy was it out there when you had somebody out there that had some new tires compared to you?
It was crazy, but it wasn't. I've seen crazier. Yeah, it made a big difference tonight for sure. Usually is the case here. I kind of tried to gamble it on the end there, and I only took 2. I was hoping that would buy me enough time off of pit road to kind of go out there and kill some time down, but I don't think it was as good as 4 at the end. I mean, it got me to second, obviously. Dalton did a great job. He was saving fuel, and he kind of babied it around there, and he killed it. Yeah, it was crazy, but it wasn't. I've seen crazier.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun watching the tire strategy, but really it was the fuel strategy, as you mentioned, and it seemed like there was about 13 different fuel strategies from drivers out there. Some guys coming in there really early for that last pit stop. Some guys trying to stretch it out. Some guys stretching it out all the way to the end. So, I mean, at what point during the race did you kind of fall into your strategy, or was it just kind of winging it?
I kind of had a plan from the get-go, and I stuck to it for the most part. Just kind of went into it like I want to run that first run as long as possible. Just try to baby the tires, not stand on the throttle in the center of the corner, that kind of thing, and run that run out, as long as I could, and basically do the same thing on the next run with no tires, and then by that point we're in the 30 to 40 to go mark. Go like hell with fresh tires. I mean, I was trying to short pit everybody and take 2 there. That was the only part I won it. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do 2 or 4. and made the call to take 2, and ended up working. Dalton just did a killer job with his strategy, and like you said, yeah, there was 100 things going on there. That caution at the start really jumbled some stuff up. Wasn't really sure how it was going to work out, but yeah, it was a good time. These are my favorite kind of races. A little bit of strategy, a lot of green racing.
Well, that's what makes it fun too. Is you guys had that long green flag run and allowed for multiple different strategies to actually play out and not have cautions, kind of group everybody back into the same pit strategy. But you came in into tonight 1 point behind Robert Warrens. You finish ahead of him, but you come in 8 points or 9 points ahead of Dalton Kilroy. You finish behind him. So I mean, we talked about up here in the booth. It's gonna be damn near a three-way tie heading into Nashville next week. How do you feel about Nashville? Definitely a different type of track there with the concrete tri-oval.
I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna try my best and think if I can just keep my head on straight and let others make mistakes, and I think we'll come out all right. Yeah, it's going to be fun fighting Dalton and them guys for the points here.
All right, buddy. Well, another good run for you here for sure. It's definitely going to be a good points night, and hopefully it'll help out if any downfall comes next week at Nashville. But I'm sure you'll still be up there within the talks of the top guys. So congrats on the second place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thank you. Shout out to my team, Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel. They kind of had a rough night tonight. Hopefully they get that turned around. Shout out to Dalton. It's good to see. I'm happy to see him get one tonight after our little scuffle last week. And you guys up in the booth, you guys do a great job. You know that. I love coming over here and talking with you. That's literally like half of my motivation in these races. Like, I want to go talk to Jimmy and Carl at the end. So,
I mean, we're pretty easy to talk to. I mean, to say.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, it's fun when you earn it,
Exactly. Yeah, we make you earn it. It's not just anybody can come up here. You got to get in the top 3. Well,
yeah,
you get up here in the top 3 quite a bit, so we appreciate talking to you. Great job again here tonight. And who knows? Maybe you find your way at Nashville and we get to talk to you again.
Hopefully, I'm intending on it. We'll see.
All right, buddy. That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 81 of Andrew Pileshi. Bringing home another good points night for him. Last but not least is going to be your winner this week, and that is going to be finally the 41 of Dalton Kilroy.
Hey, Dalton, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Gotcha. Finally. Jesus.
About well, lack of selective word.
I know what you mean.
About damn time. So, no, I mean, it was just fun watching everybody race here tonight, to be honest, and wasn't quite sure where the 41 was sitting until the later stages of the race, but watching your pit strategy just kind of fall into your lap to, the way I happened to click on your car a few times. I'm like, man, he's saving something fierce. And I'm like, didn't we see when you pit, you were so many more laps ahead, I guess, pitting behind everybody, which allowed you to get out there and get this great strategy going. Obviously, maybe that beginning caution helped you out a little bit.
Oh, definitely. I wasn't planning on coming into this race doing fuel strategy, and then caution fell literally on the lap that it needed to fall on for it to be close. And all I had to do was save like 2, maybe 3 laps a run, which around here isn't too difficult for me. And just maintaining, everybody kept it green because it got all spread out. And normally what ends up happening around here is if we can get spread out, then it's going to go green. So I was just hoping there wasn't a caution, but I had a set of tires in the pits anyway, so I had all bases covered and was just playing the long game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. The long game definitely fell in your lap, but I didn't know you even had an extra set of tires. I mean, that would have been good. Would have been worried about you all of a sudden. A pit came out and everybody closes up, but with you having fresh tires in the bank there, I mean, heck, that's just I don't think you could get any better than that. But yeah, just watching you out there, just kind of wondering what was going on, if you had the speed. Then I heard you saving, and I'm like, all right, he's kind of like fuel saving. He's got something going on. But talk to us about the patience it takes, knowing that you're going to be there at the end, but you need to be so consistent on fuel to get there.
Yeah, it definitely takes a different kind of level of discipline to be able to do. But it's just once you can kind of see that, yeah, you're the only one that can stretch this and everybody else is going to have to pit an extra time, it's kind of just like, okay, just hit the same mark, keep the clutch in, just don't wreck the car, and everything will come to you. Just don't risk anything. So tonight was very low risk. I went into the race just planning on just saving tires and let everybody go burn their stuff up in the first 10 laps, just with how abrasive this track is. And hell, I was faster than some people when I was saving, and they were still pushing on their older tires. So I was wondering kind of what they were thinking if they heard me throw the clutch in and I'm going by them about 0.2 a lap. They're probably like, this mother trucker.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to save fuel, but second to be as fast and to keep that pace. But you do find yourself, like you said, because you're taking it easy with your car, so your tires aren't being burned off. So those lap times are just more better than average instead of really, really fast and then handle like crap. So, but no, it was, I think, masterclass here. And finally, obviously, as last season's champion to finally get up here on the podium and throw that monkey out the window. Obviously having the battles that you had with Andrew Pileggi last week, and things could have probably went better for you.
I'm getting PTSD.
But it's definitely good to finally get you up here, talk to you a little bit. But most of all, want to say congratulations finally, and give you some time on that number 41 for any shout outs.
Yeah, thank you. I thank MFRD as always, Gold Line Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Forward Screen Printing, everybody at Virtual Velocity Racing for putting the league on. It's always fun to come out here and race and have long green flag. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm trying to get over that. Long green flag runs to finish a race and allow strategies like mine to actually play out. And gotta obviously thank you guys for doing the broadcast for us, everybody out in chat for tuning in, and everybody on track for keeping it green long enough so we could actually see the fruits of the labor.
Yeah, it definitely was a awesome race to watch, and obviously again, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you next week as you continue on the season. But I guess we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you.
That is your winner finally here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in to CRN here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer us. We got great racing all throughout the week here. We got the Core Xfinity Series on Tuesday. We got the CSRL GT3 series on Wednesday nights, and then tonight we have the doubleheader. If you like a little oval action, you come here, check out the Virtual Velocity Racing, putting on a great race. If you like a little road course action, we got that going on right now over on our other channel here for CRN with the Core GT series. But it's all good driving out here that we have right now in CRN, and I'm loving every minute of it. Hopefully you are too. Thank you again to Gold Line Guardians, Forward Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for the sponsorship here for VVR. But for myself and Jimmy, the birthday boy, here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.